A society to have order and to protect its citizens must have rules. Rules or laws are created and agencies are formed to enforce the rules. In the United States, you are innocent until proven guilty. Our judicial system, our courts, have the task of determining guilt. When guilt is found, the courts mete out the consequences. If we follow the rules of our society, we may never have to face the bar of justice inside a criminal courtroom. Join us now as we see an actual Lake County court in session.
All rise. Lake County Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Donna F. Miller presiding. Please be seated. Court will come to order.
All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Miller. Could all of you, including visitors, please raise your right hands? Do each of you raise your right hand, please? Other right hand. Do each of you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and this you do under the pains and penalty of perjury? Okay, thank you. Put your hands down. Each of you has a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. When you get to the microphone, I need to know if you're under 18. I need to know if you're not a citizen of the United States, because pleading today could affect your immigration status. I need to know if you're on probation or parole, because pleading today could affect your probation or parole status. If you plead today, you're giving up your right to have a trial and to have an attorney represent you at that trial. If I sentence you today on a criminal case, you have to go down to room 105 and either pay the mandatory costs or sign up for the payment plan. Today, we're being videotaped and tape recorded. Okay, this is in custody. Next, we have Jesse James Hall. Mr. Hall, I sentenced you on a driving with no license and a resisting in July, and I told you no new law violations. Here you are today with a violation of probation. Probation says you didn't report when you were supposed to report. And you got a new offense. And the new offense is resisting an officer without violence. Mr. Sandor, your recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. As to case number 2012 MM535, the violation of probation for a battery, the state's offer is an adjudication of guilt, 90 days in the Lake County.
Excuse me for interrupting. You're starting with the violation of
Yes, Your Honor,
probation.
on the older case first.
All right, let me start first then. I have an order of commitment on the no driver's license and the resisting or obstructing from July, and that's 30 days. And that's because you have new law violations. So we have an order of commitment for 30 days. Now the state is going to first recommend on the violation of probation, and then we'll talk about the newest charge.
Okay, Your Honor. For the violation of probation for the battery, case number 2012 MM535, the state's offer is an adjudication of guilt, 90 days in the Lake County Jail, credit time served, and any gain time earned, starting with his arrest on the VOP on October 20th, 2012. To run concurrent with the new case, 2012 MM7006, for resisting an officer without violence and providing an officer with a false name, and that is also to run concurrent with the order of commitment.
I've signed the order of commitment for the 30 days, and that starts today. So you have at least 30 days from today. Do you want to take the state's recommended offer, or do you want to say not guilty and talk to an attorney? You're looking at the possibility of up to 3 years in jail. I didn't hear?
Guilty.
Okay. Do you need Mr. Sandor to read it again, or did you follow everything? You got it.
So I got ordered to commit. I got to do 30 days, day for day.
30 days, day for day, starting at this moment. And then, if you accept the offer, I sentence you on the new stuff. Okay? Next, could I have Darren Bennett? All right, Mr. Bennett, you're charged with driving while license suspended and expired registration. Have you fixed either one of those?
Yes, ma'am.
Both?
I did it electronically on the 24th, and I was waiting on the DC clearance on Tallahassee, and that's why the officer pulled me.
All right, you got a ticket in Duval County that they said you didn't pay.
Yes, ma'am. That's the
So
one.
then you got a notice that you were going to be suspended, so you went to the computer and paid the ticket online late.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, once you paid it late, you're suspended.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I mean, once it was late, you're suspended, and you knew you were suspended. And at that point, paying it doesn't clear your ticket. You have to take proof you've paid it to the driver's license office and get reinstated.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you should have known you weren't allowed to drive. And the officer stops you and he says, hey, you should have known you weren't allowed to drive. Here's a ticket for driving. And your tag was expired.
Yes. That's when I was, like I said, that's when I was waiting on the D6 clearance from Tallahassee.
But then you
Yeah.
weren't allowed to drive while you were
Yes.
waiting. All right, Mr. Sandor, your recommendation on what appears to be a second Dwillis within a 5-year period. And actually, he had 3 in Duval County, reduced 1 to an.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's offer is an adjudication of guilt, 29 days in the Lake County Jail, suspended
Okay.
upon payment of a $250 fine, and no new crimes all to be completed within the next 180 days.
So this is going to end up costing you an extra $500 because you couldn't wait until you got the clearance and got your new license. Actually, it's going to be $600 because the expired registration is another $113. So you can have a trial. If you're found guilty on this driving while license suspended, you can be sentenced up to a year in jail. But it looks like you should have known you were suspended because you're waiting on your D6 clearance, so you knew you couldn't drive. You can say not guilty and talk to an attorney. If you plead today, it's a fine.
Well, what if I could pay for it now, today? Would that help anything?
Pay for what?
The 500
If
pound?
you can pay all the money on this new case today, it can save you $55 at the traffic window. The mandatory costs are $273. But if you can't, that's in addition to the fine of $200.
$250. Your Honor.
$250.
He has not provided a valid license at this time.
So you have all of that money to pay.
Yes, ma'am.
If you can pay it today, can save you $55. If you sign up for the payment plan, they'll let you make payments on it, but they add about $55 to the cost.
I'll pay it today.
So you're taking the state's offer.
Yes.
Okie dokie. And have you fixed the registration? You're still waiting on that too.
I fixed that already.
Could you see that he's fixed it, please?
The only thing I have is
He doesn't have his
I
registration.
don't have my
on him, Your Honor.
registration on me. No, ma'am.
Okay, he'll need to provide proof. So you're pleading no contest to the expired registration. I find you guilty. It's $113. You have until May 7th? May 7th to pay. When you pay, they're going to want proof of your valid registration. So take that to the traffic window. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Defendant to take proof of valid registration to traffic window. All right, we'll write it up. This is a lot of money. All right, thank you, sir. Next is Jesse Kelly. Jesse Kelly. Mr. Kelly, you're charged with driving while license suspended. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Okay.
Compared to what I went through this year.
Nothing left over from the stroke? It's all...
My hand is numb, my mouth is numb, and my equilibrium is not 100% right now.
Well, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known. Okay? Because you're...
Yeah, they surprised, the doctor surprised and everything. I recovered just fast.
Wow. All right. We continued it because of health issues. Did you ever get your driver's license fixed?
No, ma'am, I called the peoples. They told me $250 I want to ask you a question, though. Wasn't somebody supposed to have sent me a letter notification that my license was suspended?
They sent you 3 of them.
Y'all did. And
Yes.
I come and paid them over here. So that
Yes.
money just wasted going down the drain. But I come paid them, and I
Wait,
paid
we
for
may
it.
not be talking about the same thing. You got a ticket in April. No, that was for failing to pay a traffic, let me see what that is, 5567. You had a ticket for no proof of insurance that you got last year, and then you didn't pay it.
Those 2 cases ran was one episode.
Okay, I'm trying to
Yes, ma'am.
explain. So you didn't pay that ticket for no proof of insurance. So when you got this one in May, it was for not paying that one. In addition, as you may have heard me tell one of the other people, when you get a ticket for no insurance, Tallahassee suspends you. Then you had a judgment because either you or your vehicle was involved in a crash and you didn't have enough insurance to pay it. So then, that judgment you have to work out with the attorney for the other vehicle, and he or she has to release your driver's license, and that's between you and them. And Tallahassee sent you the notice that the attorney for the other side sent them a suspension thing for you.
Okay, that was in 2000.
They redid it.
I got all that straight.
March 26th, they resuspended you.
Right, they never sent me a letter. Y'all sent me a letter.
Well, they said they did send you something. That Tallahassee sent you something saying the people in the accident wanted you suspended again.
They never sent me. Tallahassee sent me the two tickets that I got here. They sent me them 2 letters.
Okay, well, you knew you were suspended, whether it was for 3 things or 2 things or 1 thing. You knew you were suspended, and you shouldn't have been driving, and you don't have your license yet.
I come paid I got 2 D6 clearance from y'all. That night, they said I was, because I had to pay one first, then pay the other.
All right, stop talking. We'll get a new printout, and we'll see where we are on the computer. Could you get a new printout for him, please? Because he can explain until it's midnight, and it won't make any difference. Okay, Angel DeLeon, please. Mr. DeLeon, you've gotten most of the batter's intervention completed. So tell me how we should do this. Are you going to, if I give you more time, will you finish? Are you out of energy or money, or do you plan to finish?
Yeah, that's
So you just want more time?
yeah, I need like another 9 weeks.
So you need 3 months?
Yeah.
Beg your pardon?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No. I got another nine weeks.
Okay. I'll give you 3 months to make sure everything's all done. And when he finishes everything, he'll just bring us the proof and we'll close the case, or do you want him to come to court?
I'd like him to come to court, Your Honor,
Okay.
since we would still adjudicate him guilty on the violation.
Okay, we will see you in 3 months, hopefully.
February 7th.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, February 13th.
At arraignment, February 13th, 2013, 8 a.m. Defendant to finish BIP. All right, Mr. DeLeon, wait for your paperwork, and then we'll see you in February. Ricardo Barrantes. Is that how you pronounce Barrantes? Barrantes, sorry. Mr. Barrantes, you are charged with no driver's license for a motorcycle. Were you paying attention earlier?
I was.
And what did we say that would be of help to you?
If I get an endorsement,
We drop it. We
I'll
have a
do that.
deal?
I'll do that.
And where do you stay? What city?
Here, use this.
Well, that's where the school is, in Eustis. Yay!
Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Okay. Could you write, we're gonna continue it for 3 months?
That's fine.
February 7th.
February 7th, 2013. defendant to get
No, I can bring it before that, right? If
motorcycle
Right.
endorsement, and court will dismiss. If you get it before that, just take it to the traffic window and they'll dismiss it.
All right. Thank you.
Do you know where the school is? What?
I heard on TV that the colleague place in Claremont also does the school. They have it-
I did hear that. But he lives in Eustis, so do you know where it is?
Yeah, actually, down by the big one.
By the what? Big Lots, exactly, yes.
It is February 13th, I'm sorry. I keep getting the due date and the arraignment date mixed up.
February 13th. Thank you. 2013, February 13th, 2013. All right, could I have Lorena Gonzalez to the microphone, please? Miss Anning, I sentenced Ms. Gonzalez in September on a theft charge and a resisting. And I told her no new law violations. I said, if you get another law violation, you're going to jail for 59 days. And here she is, charged with putting a tag on a vehicle that shouldn't have been on there. Miss Anning, this is taking a very long time. Could you stand back and talk to her and figure out why she's charged with attaching a tag not assigned? And I'm going to go to the next person, who is Michael Williams.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Williams, you are charged with leaving the scene without giving information and careless driving. You have a very good driving record, actually. You've had insurance problems, but not driving problems. So let me see what this is all about. This says you were involved in an accident. Are you okay?
Fine.
How about, was it another car or something else?
No, it's like a gate arm in a gated community.
Okay, vehicle one was attempting to enter the back gate of Legends. The back gate is for residents only. Vehicle one is a work truck for Dean's Pest. Vehicle waited until a car entered and then followed the vehicle through. The arm of the gate came down and lodged between the cab and the cargo box, and you backed up, like breaking the gate so you can get loose.
It was another gate.
What?
It was another gate closing, so that's why I backed up.
Okay, so this is, it didn't break. You tried to move the arm with your hand?
Yeah, I moved it out from with my truck so I can move, and the screw just came out. The gate didn't actually break.
So what'd you do with the screw that came out?
I didn't do anything.
What?
I didn't do anything.
Where is the screw?
I have no idea. I guess
Well, how do you know a
it was on the
screw
ground,
came out?
Because there was only one in there.
But you don't know where it went. But as far as you know, it was still working when you left.
Well, I'm guessing they shut it down because you have to go around to the other entrance.
So it doesn't work anymore and it's your fault.
Yes.
Okay, that's why you're here, because you didn't stick around to tell somebody you broke the gate.
Well, I had to go around to the main entrance, so I had to leave.
Okay, didn't you have a phone with you?
Yes.
Okay, so you could have called somebody.
I
When you
talked-
went around, I'm sorry?
I talked to them.
Tell me about it.
Well, like I said, they called me and said, come around to the front gate, and I came around. But
How did they know to call you?
I guess because the residents that was behind me called my job.
Okay,
And they called, the job gave them my number, and they called me.
and told you to go to the front gate.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Sandor?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know how much of that you heard. There's a line, there are people behind him. He tried to get into the gate behind somebody in front of him, and it isn't a gate that stops from a vehicle. And so the arm went down in his truck. So he gets out and forcibly gets it off of his truck and a screw's missing, and when he forcibly did all of that, it broke the mechanism. So the people behind him, he's got pest control written on his truck. They call the number, and his boss calls him and says, go around to the front gate and we'll talk about it there, whatever. So he gets out, goes around to the front gate, and gets charged with leaving the scene. So the careless part may be
Right.
correct.
And Your Honor, we would have to verify all of his statements. None of that is.
I'm hearing.
Report.
Okay, so for right now, you're going to say not guilty, and we're going to see if everything checks out the way you describe it. I don't think you need an attorney yet. Maybe your boss, is your boss here today? So maybe your boss can help you figure out whether you need an attorney or not. For right now, you're present, you're saying not guilty, and we'll see how much damage there is and whether the state, looking at it closely, considers that leaving the scene.
Well, from my understanding, I believe I already have it fixed. I think the company paid for it.
Paid to fix it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're charged with leaving the scene. And if your boss told you to go to the front to deal with it, that doesn't sound to me like you're trying to get away with something.
Yeah, 'cause I had to go in anyways.
Okay. Why'd you choose to go the back way when you're not a resident?
'Cause that's the way the GPS took me. I never been there.
Okay. All right. We're entering a not guilty, and we'll give you your new court date. All right, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, Ms. Gonzalez explained to me what happened here. Apparently, her mom has been diagnosed with cancer in Puerto Rico, and she has a small child here. So she had to go to Puerto Rico on an emergency. In order for someone to take care of her child, her father flew from Puerto Rico to here to take care of the child while she was in Puerto Rico. He also brought his car along from Puerto Rico to here. While he was here, he must have noticed her tag, so he took his car tag and put it on her tag, on her vehicle, while she was in Puerto Rico. She came back after 2 weeks and drove her car, unbeknownst to her that this had been done.
So, I'm sorry, I missed a step here. Her father noticed that her tag was expired?
Papá entonces se dio cuenta de
Él
que
envió el carro para Puerto Rico y cuando yo llegué, ya el carro está allá, en casa de mi, o sea, lo envió para allá. Y el tag parece que lo cambió.
It
O sea,
seems
lo cambió,
that
yo no me
he's
percaté
the
de eso.
one that changed it. I have no idea.
Why would he change the tag if it was a perfectly good tag?
No sé.
La tablilla, I don't know. So when
So then he takes his car back to Puerto Rico with no tag on it?
se llevó entonces el coche de vuelta sin tablilla.
That doesn't make
Puso la
any
que tenía en
sense.
Puerto Rico. Cuando mandó el carro de Puerto Rico tenía la tag, la tablilla de Puerto Rico.
It had the Puerto Rico tag on it. And
Miss Annie, I'm missing something here. She said her father took off the tag that was on her car and put the Puerto Rican tag on her car. Then he takes his car back to Puerto Rico without the Puerto Rican tag? That doesn't make sense.
no tiene sentido.
Eso fue lo que hizo.
That is what
Believe
he
me.
did.
What happened to your tag?
¿Qué le pasó a tu tablilla?
Where'd you find it?
No, yo la
¿Dónde la
tenía,
encontraste?
esta estaba en mi carro.
It-
Cuando él,
Dentro del carro.
no, esta estaba puesta en el carro mío.
It was on my car.
Él
It
la
was
quitó,
on my
mandó
car.
aquel para Puerto Rico y puso
He
el
took
plate de acá, en mi carro.
He took this tag and put it on my car. He took the other one back and put it on his car and sent that car back to Puerto Rico.
Y por eso me envió el dinero y saqué todo. lo
And
que tengo
then,
aquí.
but everything is up to date. He sent me the
Miss
money.
Annie, none of that made sense to me yet. Can you talk to her again? I don't know who's on first and who's on second here. So could you try it again? And could I have Jesse Kelly? Okay, Mr. Kelly, it shows that you took care of everything that had to do with us. It shows that on the printout. The only thing you haven't taken care of is with the attorney on the judgment case. So what are you going to do about that?
Like I was saying, when I left taking care of y'all stuff, and I never get a notification.
Okay, now you know. How are you going to take care of it?
I'm doing better now. I try to get my license, but they asked for $250, so
You cannot get your license until you work out a deal with the people who are involved in the accident.
Right, they went up on me $250. I didn't have that. It was $50, then it went up.
Whatever, you can't get your license back till you work something out with them.
Right.
So did you explain to them about your stroke and,
Yes, ma'am,
and
I
they
told
still
them
went
about-
up?
Right, and I told them I got.
And they still went up?
Yes, okay, they wanted me to call them back, so I haven't called them.
Okay, Mr. Kelly, until that's cleared up, you can't get your license. And you can't drive.
Right, I wouldn't have drove in if I knew it was suspended. I'm trying to stay out of trouble.
Okay, Mr. Sandor,
Yes, Your Honor.
the crash was not recent. How long ago was the crash?
Over 10 years.
Okay, so when he had his stroke, he missed payments. And so because he missed payments, they re-suspended him on the judgment. They didn't send him a letter saying they re-suspended him on the judgment, at least not one that he got. So he says he didn't realize he got suspended again on the judgment, and he can't go reinstate because since he missed some payments, they wanted to double up. But he worked hard to fix everything, and then he got a stroke. So, Mr. Kelly, if you want to plead today, I will leave it just the mandatories. It's $273 with the payment plan, and you'll have to go to the traffic window. Even if they reduced it to a civil, it would still be $210.
I don't have the money yet today, but I accept y'all.
So you're going to go ahead and plead to the criminal charge?
Yes.
Mr. Sandor, any other suggestion?
Not at this time.
Mr. Kelly, you're present. You waive an attorney. You enter a no contest plea. I will withhold a finding of guilt, and it's just the mandatory costs. Go to room 105 and work out something on the mandatory costs. And you will need to be printed. Okay, now you wanted to go back to Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor. Due to a quite confusing and convoluted story, the state is willing to allow her a continuance to provide us proof of a valid tag. She has a valid tag now? Okay. Your Honor, because she has no priors for this, even though there is an order of commitment, the state would be willing to amend this charge to a civil.
So, the wrong tag was on there when the officer looked. But
It appears so, yes. But it also appears that there may have been confusion as to if she placed the tag on there.
But the tag was expired,
Yes, Your Honor.
which is what I said to begin with. That's why he may have switched it, because he saw her tag was expired.
Correct.
So if she pleads today, we'll change this to an expired tag less than 6 months.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Annie, is she pleading to an expired tag?
Está declarándose a tablilla vencida. Well, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll figure out what the fine is and get it to her. So I am not issuing the order of commitment. And she has until March to finish everything for the theft charge.